Hello, thank you everyone and welcome. Thank you for tuning in today, and we are happy to have you for this insightful discussion that we are going to have with our high esteemed guest, a tutor and a mentor. So today we are going to be exploring on effective strategies for exam preparation and motivation uh, on how to get started when you want to begin your studies, career path, and so on. So, without wasting much of your time, I would like to introduce my guest for this insightful discussion. So, you can introduce yourself, sir.
All right, thank you so much to the Harrison Jesulu. To start with, our special listeners, my name is Hamper Kliman. I'm an academic mentor, and we are having this special podium. And on this podium, we will be discussing quite a lot of things that are going to be so impactful, especially in your academic journey. We understand that academics are not really something that are easy, but they are easy, especially if you put in certain tactics, which we will be discussing together with my brother, Tuta Harrison Jezulo. Thank you so much.
Okay, you are welcome, sir. And to our listeners, I guess you are going to enjoy this. So I've got this situation, my fellow tutor, where when students are about to write their exams, they get to have this thing in them. I think I want to make it. There's just this stress that gets to come in. So what strategies do you recommend for managing exam stress?
All right, thank you so much for that wonderful question.
Yes.
To start with, exam stress is not something that is new in the system of academia.
Yes, sir.
Okay, exam stress is not something new. It's been there, and it is very normal for a person to feel it. But to start with, confidence is something that one should adapt to.
Confidence.
Okay,
Yes.
confidence is very important. When we say confidence, what do we mean? Confidence is simply knowing yourself 100%. You know yourself 100%. You know who you are. And the best way to attain your confidence in academia is when you study. Okay? So after having studied, it is very important that you believe in yourself. There's no one who is going to believe in you unless you believe in yourself. So as you get in the exam, you've already prepared, you're already set. But if your confidence level or your energy is less, likely you will forget everything in the exam. So in as much as you would feel that exam stress, you should not be prone, or it should never have an effect on you. Thank you so much.
So you read for yourself, you need to be confident. So first you need to believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, you are even confident. So this should also be to the students that feel like they have not prepared enough. You just need to be confident. You just need to have that confidence in you that I will surely going to make it. So thank you so much for that wonderful answer. I guess you are getting to have one or two things in this insightful discussion. I've got another question that I will give to the tutor.
Yes,
so there are those students that say, me, I don't know, when I study, I easily forget things. When I study today, I'm studying this topic. Tomorrow, when I jump into another topic, I forget the previous one. So, what techniques have you found to be most effective for maintaining or retaining the information, or saying, okay, I'll keep this information? Or what techniques can you advise to, can you give to a student that gets to have such challenges?
All right, thank you so much. All right, also to start with, to answer that question, one thing that we must be able to understand is this: the human brain is very, very much diverse. It is wise, it is complex. Okay? The way God created us, He put so much cells in your brain. We call them brain cells. And they expand every time you put in new knowledge. into your academic life. So the more you expose yourself to books, to new data, the more you are able to expand your information. Now, how would you be able to retain information after you study? Okay, that was the question basically.
Yes, sir.
So repetition is very important in academics. Many people don't really know how to study. They think when you study now, whatever you study now, that's it. They will forget. They don't want to go back to whatever they studied, think they know. So it's a pseudo conviction. You feel as though you feel convicted that you have the information, when in the actual sense, it's just a conviction in the mind and not inside. So when we give you a question, those are students that now say, I read this topic. I was from studying this topic, but I just don't know, I've just forgotten. It was a conviction that they knew, when in the actual sense, they never knew anything. So the best way you would be able to expand your brain cells is when you adapt to re-exposure. Whatever you study today, if you can study it in the evening again, same things, and then the other time you study something new, and then you go back to the same information, okay, you will discover that you'll be able to understand things at a very, very wide point. Okay, why? Because every time you study, you get to learn new things. Okay, so by doing that, it will become very easy for you to retain information. So to answer that question generally, you just have to adapt to re-exposure. Go back to what you studied several times, and it will get in you.
Sure, exactly. I guess you've edit for yourself. So you need to, some of you get to say, once I study this, then I study it for good. So you need to make sure that you get to repeat. For example, if you in the afternoon you were studying excretion, in the evening you can also revisit that, so that you get to cement the information, so that it gets to stick, like you read about the body brain cells, the way they get to operate when it comes to the information. So I also have another wonderful question. We've got the students that get to make plans. By the end of the day, they don't stick to those plans. Students that get to say, okay, me, I'm going to be studying for example, 10 hours each day. But by the end of the day, they're just starting 10 minutes. So what makes students do that? Or what makes them not to achieve their goals? What are some of the major factors that have contributed to that?
All right, thank you so much. That is a very wonderful question, actually. And I can say it's actually something that is affecting a lot of students. Procrastination starts as an excuse, and then it becomes a behavior.
Sure.
And then with time, it becomes an addiction. So most of the students are into procrastination, basically because they do not have so much energy for academia. The moment you switch into procrastination, trust me, there is basically something wrong with your energy concerning academics. Because there is just a way in which, when you start understanding what you are studying, there's a way in which you are going to love what you're doing.
Yeah, sure.
And procrastination should be something that should be far away from your studies and what you're doing. Okay? So when you realize that you are now switching into being a person who is in procrastination, it is very important that you sit yourself down, you talk to yourself, you need to be open to yourself, because it won't be able to benefit you or take you to any other place. It is only when you switch into discipline, you tell yourself that even if I am busy or I've got something to do, I will not cut off this program that I have. If you are to study for 4 hours, or if you are to study for 6 hours or 3 hours, make sure that you do it, and you should never be disturbed. Okay?
Sure, sure.
And trust me, you're going to be productive in whatever you're doing.
Yeah, that's so excellent. I love it. So I guess you are learning one or two things and you are getting to improve in those areas you are weak. So, like failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
Yes, yes.
So when you are not preparing, you are preparing for another thing, which is failure. So you discover that failure is not a surprise. When you fail, it should not even be a surprise because you know what you get to do each day. So if you are not studying, it means you are also preparing for something. I guess you are getting to learn one or two things. So, tutor, I've got another wonderful question.
Yes.
How can you help students get to set achievable goals for their exam preparation? Like we know we've got, this is 2025 and
Yes.
we are about to approach the GCE's exams in, I guess in 1 month. We've got 1 month from now for the GCE's exams to start. So
Yes.
what advice can you give to help students get to achieve their exam goals pertaining to their preparation?
Okay, so I know it might look as though you've got less time, a month ongoing.
Yes,
It
yes.
might look as though you've got less time for your preparation. But trust me, you've got so much time to prepare for your exams. Okay? It might seem as though maybe you don't have so much time for your studies, or maybe you may not really be able to catch up with what you're doing. But trust me, there is so much time for you. Tutor Harrison, do you know that in a day we've got 24 hours? We've got 24 hours in a day, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So now, if I might ask you a question, let's say I want to get a distinction in science, or
Yes,
in
yes.
biology, or maybe in civic education or RE.
Yes.
Okay. The first question I should ask myself, if I'm goal orientated, how many hours exactly can it take me to revise 5 topics in science
Yes, yes.
in 24 hours? I'm not a busy person. I know I might be busy, but I don't want to be busy at this moment. I just want to do school.
Yes, yes.
Because maybe I might want to be a doctor, I might want to be a nurse, I want to be a teacher, or I might want to be an engineer.
Yes, yes.
That is my goal. But in 24 hours, exactly how many hours are there? How many hours should I use am I going to utilize to revise 5 topics in science? When I ask myself that question, I should be honest with myself.
Sure,
So
sure.
it can take me 8 hours to revise, maybe let's say 4 topics.
Yes.
Okay? I need to endure the 8 hours. I need to lock up myself. It has to be academic. So I need to study 8 hours just studying science. If I can revise 4 topics or 3 topics in 8 hours with breaks
Sure, sure.
in 24 hours, then how many topics am I going to cover in 73 hours, which is just possibly 3 days?
Yes, yes,
How
yes.
many hours am I going to cover? You might discover that it will only take you maybe 2 weeks to just revise everything, or maybe 7 days to revise everything. But because of procrastination, a lot of people tend to adjust time, and then they discover they've got, they don't have so much time, they feel less energy, less prepared. But if you are goal oriented, it will only take you maybe less than 7 days or something, and you'll be able to revise everything.
Sure, sure. That's so good, and that's a wonderful insight. I guess people are being blessed, and you are getting to improve. So, like you've heard, you also need to be setting up some breaks as we get to study. So, never assume things like, okay, I think I will start at 12 hours. 12 hours, there is something. So, when you start giving excuses, then it's a sign that where you are heading to, you are going to be a person that is going to regret so much.
Yes.
So the most painful life is living a life full of regrets. We get to have people, once they fail, they start putting their regrets on teachers,
Yes.
parents, tutors, and by the end of the day, you discover that those people that you're blaming, their lives are improving. It is your life that is going down. So you need to make sure that you start making some actions even as you start preparing for your exams. I've got this one more last questions.
Yes,
Question, even as we get to end this discussion. So, what role does a positive mindset play in exam preparation, and how can a student cultivate it?
All right. Okay, so I would like to quote some words that an old teacher said. Please, let me just use some of the things that he mentioned. He said, a prophetic word is equivalent to a positive mind.
So
He says,
that's
this,
so good.
he said, the energy that is released when a prophet speaks a word is equivalent to a positive mind. He said, someone with a prophetic word on their head is equivalent to a person who's got positive mind over a vision. So a positive mind look, whenever you start thinking, there is a certain energy that you release. Okay? When you think, there is a certain energy that you begin to release. That is the reason why it is very, very possible for you to be able to feel that this person is very much negative. Well, someone can say, this guy is very toxic.
Yeah.
This guy, is very discouraging. Even before they say anything. Why? You are able to feel the effect.
Sure.
It's a principle of magnetism. You're able to feel, radiations around. So that's the same way positive energy is. When you become positive about your life or your future, there is a certain energy released around your environment. And things are going to start flowing basically exactly as you think. Okay? So when you become positive over your studies, your environment will also start becoming positive towards you. Things will become easy for you. Okay? In your studies, everything is going to become easy. So when you say you want to study for, let's say, 3 hours, your 3 hours will turn into 4 hours. If you say you want to study for 5 hours, your 5 hours will turn into 8 hours. Because a positive mind multiplies everything. Okay? So when you have a positive mentality, even if you've got 8 hours to your exam, your 8 hours becomes your 8 days. You are able to revise everything. Why? Because your energy is something that cannot be suppressed by what people say.
Yeah, sure.
Okay? So a positive mind is a very important aspect for every individual in the academic sector.
Sure. That's so good. So we've come to the end of this wonderful and insightful discussion. I guess you've gotten one or two things that you need for your exams. So even as you get to prepare for your exams, you are a GC or internal candidate, you need to make sure that you follow everything that we've discussed. We are yet to give you more educative information on how to go about your studies, your academic life, goals, everything to do with a career path. We'll be sharing that according to the information that we've gathered in the years that we've been tutoring with my brother and friend.
Yes.
So we both have YouTube channels. You can also follow us on YouTube. Is the mentor Kriman Faith, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
Ampeo Kriman on YouTube. So he's going to talk about his YouTube channel even as we get to end. But Harrison Jezuru Tutor, that is my official name that I get to use. So you can talk about the YouTube channel so that if there is someone watching, we'll be able to follow.
All right. All right. So I'm also found on YouTube. I go by the name Hampel Kliman Mentor. Yes. And we are doing very serious calculations for mathematics, especially for those that are doing their natural sciences at either universities or internal. Those that are in grade 12 or those that are in their GCs, we are found on YouTube. There's a channel there, and there's a spectrum of videos that would help you revise through. Yes, on Facebook, I'm Muslim and Faith. And if you would want to interact with us, please, you will be able to contact on those social media platforms.
So if possible, you can even give your number.
All right.
Someone that
So if there's someone that would want to talk to me, probably maybe they would want to know something about their academia or career-wise, please contact me on +26 0777 66 40 46. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for staying with us. Stay blessed.